Hello there, and welcome to my first episode of Darlings and Duds. This is going to be my version of kind of a monthly favorites video, but what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be rounding up for you all of the new products that I've been testing out over the last month and letting you know whether I think they are a darling, a dud, or just plain mediocre, because let's be honest, there's a lot of things that just kind of fall in that middle category. Now, I am not going to be sharing with you in-depth details and reviews on each of these products because otherwise, oh my word, this video would be 2 hours long. I am though going to be sharing with you just my quick thoughts on my use of these products, what I liked, what I didn't like. I'll give you the pricing, and then hopefully that will help you make an informed purchase decision if you're interested in any of these items. Now, a few of these items I did test out in the month of October, but most of these things I have been using in November. Also, there are a few items that I have done more in-depth reviews on, and in those cases, I will link for you the video up at the top corner of the screen. You'll see a title of a video pop over. So if you're interested in hearing more about certain products, click on that. And then at the end of the video, you can watch those videos as well. As I mentioned, I have quite the stash here, so let's get started. To keep this video organized, I have broken everything out into categories. So we're going to start off with lip products. And first of all, I've tried 2 new colors of the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheats. I have now the original Pillow Talk shade and Pillow Talk Intense. These have a very nice, super creamy, long-wearing formula. I think these are one of the best as far as stay power. They retail for $22. And while Pillow Talk Medium is still my favorite, if either of these 2 shades are appealing to you, these definitely get my darling stamp of approval. Charlotte Tilbury recently released a new type of lip gloss to her line. They are called Jewel Lips. And I mean, the packaging alone is just gorgeous. They have this kind of shimmer on the lid here, and there is a very subtle shimmer through both of these glosses. This one is called Champagne Diamonds. This is Pillow Talk. They are somewhat sheer, or pretty sheer, I should say, and the shimmer is not super apparent. So if you want something super glittery, these are not going to give you that. But if you want something that just gives your lips a nice shine, a hint of some sparkle, this is Pillow Talk right here, which is my favorite of the 2. These retail for $32. They are relatively long wearing, but are not super sticky on the lips. I have the Pillow Talk shade layered over a lipstick, and it's really nice. It didn't add any goopy texture or anything, so definitely darlings in my book. Next, I tried 2 more of Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks. These are both hot lips. She has various forms. This is the original Hot Lips in the shade Kim KW, and then this is Dancefloor Princess in the Hot Lips 2 formulation. This one has extra fancy packaging, and the cool thing about this one is you can buy just different inserts of different shades and change them out, so you don't have to buy the whole lipstick each time. This one comes in at $37 and this one is $34. So a little more expensive with this one. However, you can just buy less expensive refills. Now, the swatches on those, this is Kim KW and is definitely a very pink nude. It's pretty pale, but it is a really pretty shade. I do love to add a little bit of gloss. And then this is Dancefloor Princess, which is what I'm wearing on my lips today under that gloss. And then the lip liner, I've combined both the Pillow Talk and Pillow Talk Intense lip liners. So that is my lip combination. Both of these actually get my stamp of approval. They are expensive, so I do encourage you to shop Charlotte Tilbury when she's having a sale, but otherwise these have a very wonderful vanilla scent, and I do find this formula to be very comfortable, slightly moisturizing, and yet still long wearing. At the Sephora sale, I picked up another shade of the Huda Lip Strobe. This is the shade Ritzy, and I have really been enjoying this shade. I love to use these on top of lipsticks just to kind of slightly change the shade, or to just add that just nice little bit of shine in the center of the lips. These retail for $18 and highly recommend, definitely a darling. Last up in lips, I have been trying out several products from the brand City Beauty. And so far, I'm only prepared to kind of give you my thoughts on their City Lips glosses. Now, these are a plumping lip gloss formula, but totally different than any other plumpers I have tried before. They do not have any of that stinging feeling whatsoever. And I tried one of these. I tried the clear one in a Get Ready With Me video, and several of you said, yes, I could totally see plumping by the end of the video. So they do provide a good amount of moisture. They have hyaluronic acid and a lot of really good ingredients. They smell, I would say, like vanilla cake. So it is a very sweet scent, but I personally love it. I've swatched two of the colors for you. So they are pretty sheer, but this is the shade San Diego. I think the names are really cute. This is a peach with a pretty strong gold shift. And then next to it is the shade Los Angeles. And that is this one. And again, it does come off on the lips with quite a bit of a gold kind of frost look. The clear is pretty much clear. These are very shiny, glossy. I don't personally find them super long wearing. I like to apply these as I am getting ready in the morning, then dab off the excess and then put on my lipstick. And it does provide a really good, nice bit of moisture and preparation for the lips. I have not tried these overnight more than once, and I didn't feel like it kept the hydration going all night, but some people love them that way. But my favorite way to use these and feel like they are a darling if you use them as plumpers and kind of lip preparation. The only drawback is these are $35 each. I do not feel like they're worth $35 each. However, they do often run 50% off sales. That would be the time to test these out. All right, next we're moving into face products. And first we're gonna start off under the eyes with the Stila Correcting and Brightening Serum. This is a darling for sure. Even though it retails for $38, you only need a tiny little bit. You use this right before you put your concealer on, and it provides this amazing amount of hydration and cooling, and then just a little bit of color correction. It's not quite as intense of a color corrector as if you used a specific color corrector for that, but it does help disguise that dark color before you go in with your concealer. It has amazing good ingredients, and you only need the tiniest amount. So this little bottle is going to last a very long time. I have fallen in love with a new concealer. This came in BoxyCharm, and this is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer. I have the shade currently 10 Light. This is definitely my wintertime shade. It is what I'm wearing here, so it's not too pale, but this has a really nice balance of kind of some hydration, but it does not remain tacky. And in fact, I did not set my under eye at all. And so I have really enjoyed the coverage. I feel like this is almost nearly full coverage in just one application. You might need to go back and add a little extra in a couple spots, but I overall feel like this remains nice and smooth throughout the day and does provide really good coverage. And it retails for $24. The next product I have to share with you is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Now, this product is not brand new to me, but the shade number 2 is. I showed this in a Sephora haul, and I have been loving shade number 2. It just brings that little bit more brightness to the face. You can use this on top of foundation, under foundation, mixed in with foundation. You can just apply this. It just has a magical ability to make your skin just come alive. It has that lit from within glow, but no shimmer whatsoever. Even though it's pricey, coming in at $44, it still is a really wonderful product, and it will last you a very long time. Next is a new face primer. I don't often use face primers. If you've watched many of my videos, you know that. And that is because for the most part, I don't find any of them to really make that much difference with my foundation. However, this month I tried the Beauty Blender, the Leveler Pore Minimizing Primer. I have the shade Light Medium. It also comes in one deeper shade, and this was a surprise. Now, I will say I do not like this under every foundation that I use, but under a few of my dewier foundations that I feel like emphasize my texture and my pores a little bit more, I will apply just small bits of this, so like that much, and just smooth that in one section. I don't use it over the entire face, just in the sections where I have pores, also on my lines on my forehead. And what I like about this one is it doesn't disappear once you put your foundation over it. I've tried many pore minimizing primers and they look great until you put your foundation on, then you're like, did it do anything? This one definitely does, but as I said, it's not a darling for me under every foundation, but there are a few. Specifically, I love it under the Zoya foundation. I also have loved it under the YSL All Hours foundation and a few others like that. So if you're looking for a new pore minimizing primer, this is definitely one to check out. This retails for $32. And the only thing that I don't love is the way that you have to squeeze it out. It does take quite a bit of force to get the product out of this squeeze tube, but otherwise, once you get it out, it does a great job. Now, this was apparently the month of trying new blushes. Oh my goodness. Now, in October, you will have seen me try on 2 of the Daniel Sandler watercolor blushes. Well, after that, I went back and last month ordered another shade. This is the shade Divine, and these liquid blushes are amazing. Some people find these a little bit trickier to work with because personally, I don't think they work well just dabbing on with your fingers on your cheeks. I think because these are actually super pigmented, they work best if you drop 1 drop literally on the back of your hand, swirl a fluffy brush like this one on the back of your hand, then apply to your cheeks. And it goes on beautifully. It makes it look so natural. They do give the cheeks just a subtle bit of glow. There's no shimmer though in them, and they are very long lasting. And since it's 1 drop per cheek, this is going to last you a very long time. These retail for $26.50. Next, I tried the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch liquid blush. I say soft pinch because there is nothing soft about this unless you use just a minuscule amount. So this is the shade Joy, and this, for whatever reason, is the shade that is the hardest to get a hold of, and yet I find it to be kind of the most seemingly pigmented and bright of the bunch. So literally, this is another one you do not want to apply directly onto your cheeks. You want to just apply a dab on the back of your hand, then swirl your brush around. Again, this is Joy. You can see it's a very, very rich coral color. And that 1 dab, I mean, do you see how much product I have? I mean, that is more than I would need for both cheeks. So this is only $20 and you get quite a bit of product, and it is going to last you a very long time. It does get my darling stamp, however, just go in with a very light hand. Next, I tried 2 more of the Benefit Box blushes, I think they're called, I don't know. So this is the shade California. I have wanted to try this forever, and initially when you get it, there's kind of an overspray of gold that kind of wears off, but this is a really pretty, soft, kind of peachy coral color, and it does look really nice. These do apply well, they are very buildable, and I do find that there is quite a bit of product in each of these. These do retail for $30. I think I picked these up when Ulta was offering them at 50% off, so that's a nice little perk, but I have really enjoyed this shade. Definitely gets a darling stamp, as well as the Darling Twinkle. This is my highlighter that I'm wearing today, and this is one of those just interesting products. So you kind of swirl it and you're like, but it just provides a little bit of glow, like wet cheek glow, but it's in a powder form. Now, if you look super close, you are going to see little tiny bits of flecks of shimmer in here, but they're not apparent. They don't highlight texture. So I think this is a very unique highlighter in that way. It's a super smooth formula. And again, it does also retail for $30, but this one has the color on it is a more of a white peach, I would say. There's not dramatic peach overtones, but I think it just helps blend into your skin tone a little bit better. If you have super deep skin tone, I don't think that this is going to work for you, but even medium, I used this when I was more tan and I felt like it worked really well. Keeping in the blush and highlighter theme, I also tried the Wayne Goss Veil, what are these called? Weightless Veil Blush Palette in the shade Vivid Azalea. I used this in a Get Ready With Me and it really is stunning. I know it looks really scary, but if you just tap your brush in the pan, tap off on the back of your hand, and then apply to your cheeks, it's not going to be that scary. In a full pigmented swatch, it does look pretty scary, but these are a really beautiful, soft formula. They do just blend beautifully into the cheeks. This highlighter is very interesting. It looks like it's just going to be kind of a white ivory highlighter, but it has a little bit of kind of a pink duochrome shift. And so what that does is it just kind of blends really well into the cheek. And so just as the light catches, it can pick up more of a glow. Again, there's no visible shimmer particles in this one. And you do get a ton of product, but this little palette, this huge palette, I should say, retails for $45. Now, at the opposite end of the price spectrum are two blushes from Catrice. These are the Blush Box Glowing Multicolor Blushes. This is the shade It's Wine O'Clock. I used this on Charlene when I did her makeup, and this looked beautiful on her. These are kind of, here, I'll hold it back here. These are a little bit deceiving. You don't think you're getting that much color, but they do build up nicely. And the glow that you're seeing is very soft. It's, I mean, I don't even know that it's really considered a pearl glow. I mean, right there. It's just enough to make your cheeks look healthy. And so I think these are another wonderful blush for us mature gals, and these retail for $6. We like those budget-friendly alternatives, and so definitely these are getting a darling stamp for me. I tried a new bronzer this last month from Laura Geller, new to me. These have been out for years and years. I've just never tried one. This is the Baked Bronze and Brighten in the shade Medium, and I love this. It reminds me a bit of the Sweetie Pie bronzer. However, here it is in the middle finger. It does not have quite as much glow as the Sweetie Pie bronzer does. Where can I put this here? We'll put it right here. It does have a slight little bit of some pink to it. So it's not one I use to contour. It's definitely one I like to keep more on the tops of the cheeks, but it is a really, really beautiful color. And because it has all those swirls of different tones in there, I think it works on multitudes of different skin tones. And this one retails for $34. All right, the iconic Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I know so many people absolutely love this, and this is not a dud for me, but for me, it's kind of sitting in the mediocre situation. Now, first of all, the good points of it are that it is very brightening. So if you use this under your eyes, it does provide a nice bright look, and it does make that under eye feel very soft and smooth. However, the reason why it's kind of sitting in that middle spot for me is because many times when I use it, even if I just use a tiny bit, I still feel like my under eye area ends up looking dry. I've used it with many different concealers, and sometimes it ends up okay. And other times I just feel like it looks dry. So it is a good product. It's $28. You don't use a ton each time, but as I said, because it's not 100% performance for me, I'm just going to put it in that middle category. This last month, I have two foundations to share with you. The first one you might have seen in a Get Ready With Me, and I no longer own it because, spoiler alert, I took it back, so it is a dud. It is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Stick Foundation. Now, I know a lot of people love this foundation. I tried it over multiple different bases. I used it with primers, without primers, with different sunscreens, and every time I personally just felt like it kind of sat on the top of my skin, highlighted my pores and texture, and that's not what it's supposed to do. Now, part of it, I did have a super pale shade, so that sometimes can make things look even more uneven. But I think if a foundation's properties are supposed to help smooth out the look of the skin, the shade shouldn't make that much of a difference. So for me, it was a dud. It was $39, so that one went back to the store. The other foundation I tried was almost put into the dud pile. I started trying this out at the end of September into October. I just couldn't figure out what I thought about it. I saw a lot of people loved it also, and I was like, why isn't this working for me? It is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better foundation. Now, let me give you the cons first. This is supposed to be a foundation and serum mixed together. Now, if you're used to IT Cosmetics foundations like I am, you're used to that factor of sunscreen being included. There is no sunscreen in here. And it tells you to apply it to clean, dry skin. So if you want sunscreen, that would mean you would have to go over the top of it with powder sunscreen. Now, on my combination skin, because there is skincare ingredients in this, I felt like when I would put it over my normal sunscreen, my normal moisturizer, it would make my face really oily, really shiny, and start breaking down after just about 4 hours. So I was just convinced this was not a winner for me. And then I paired it with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Spray, and it worked wonders. Now, this is the foundation I'm actually wearing today. I do have my more kind of tan color. This is medium warm 32, but I added in a little bit of the LA Girl Pro Color Mixing Medium. This is just white to make it match me today. But this is what I'm wearing, and I used it with my Becca Hydro Mist powder and then set it with this spray, and it will stay looking really nice for about 8 hours. I do start getting a little bit of glow, but it does look beautiful on the skin. I did put it over sunscreen, so as far as any added skincare benefits, I don't really think they're getting there because they're not sitting on my skin per se. But so with this spray, it became a darling. But without this spray, this would have gone in the dud pile. It does have kind of a nice medium buildable coverage. It does look beautiful once it's set, but before I set it with powder, for me personally, I still feel like I see my pores and lines a little bit. But once it's set and then set with some spray, I've loved it. So this retails for $39.50. Now this spray, this is the large bottle. This retails for $35. They have a small one that's $20. You could test it out. I use this very sparingly. I am not normally a setting spray kind of girl because most of the time I don't feel personally that they do much for me. And because I have more combination skin, I usually don't want any added dew when I'm done with my foundation and powder and all that. What I love about this is it actually not only adds to the longevity of wear of the foundation, but it does not change the finish. So if your foundation is matte and you've powdered, it's not going to suddenly make it glowy. Now that might be a pro or a con, depending on what you like from a finishing spray. But for me, this just maintains whatever finish of foundation I have. And the most important thing is it does extend the wear of whatever foundation I am wearing. So this is definitely a darling. All right, the last thing in the face category is this year's It Girl Beauty Book. All right, you know I love these. This is the third one I've purchased. I love the fact that this is nearly a whole face in one nice little compact book. And if you're not familiar with these have 3 sections that fold out. Then there is a mirror in this fourth little flap here. It has eyeshadows, brow color, a powdered eyeliner. This year's version has a blush with 6 lip colors, which I'm not actually a big fan of this part of the palette this year. I wish they would have included a highlighter, face highlighter like they did before, but nevertheless, the blush this year and the bronzer shade, those are some of my all-time favorites of all of the books. The eyeshadow colors, they did add a little more warmth this year, but there is just a little bit of overlap in shades, in my opinion, which seems to happen every year. They always seem to put in a large number of these light shades that end up looking real similar on the eyes. So that little drawback and the lipstick shades aside, I still feel like this is a really good value for your money. You're getting 3 full-size face products plus the color correctors up here. This retails right now currently on the IT Cosmetics website for $65, but they are having a sale. I got mine on QVC for $50, so just depending on where you buy it. But I am going to go ahead and put this in my darling category because I do still feel like it is a good value, and it is really nice if you're somebody who likes to keep things simple. This is a great way to do it. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've been talking forever and we are just now getting to eyes. Oh dear. Okay,